Hi, it's Count Desnian, and yes, that's a handle. It's not my real name. I'm not officially a count, whatever that is. I think it's something British or Romanian. Anyway, my topic for this video is, of course, not of course because you don't know, or something I've had a lot of experience with. It's a pre-employment test. Usually, for a lot of jobs, a lot of it is personality tests. It's basically a personality test you might take if you're getting a psych evaluation or if you're registering on a dating site or something like that. Sometimes it's referred to as bonding. I've heard that, but a lot of companies, there's a couple corporations that actually developed these for companies, probably some, like management consultant douchebags that decided this was a good idea to and these tests are very lengthy and they're tedious, and they usually try to ask a very similar question later on in the test to trip you up to see if you'll give a different answer. And a lot of them are these scenario reaction type questions. Well, not questions, but scenario reaction. How would you react to a particular scenario? For instance, if Ted sees Fran stealing from work, how would you react to it? Would you A, go to your supervisor, B, just not say anything, et cetera, et cetera. And, it's really stupid stuff. Stuff normally, if that happened at work, you would pretty much stay the hell out of it, especially if you're the third party being brought into this whole situation. But they have a lot of things that I'm just looking up to research it here. Forced choice personality test questions. This type of personality test question is somewhat less common than the statement-based one. However, it is used by some multinational test developers. Such as SHL. In this type of question, you receive 3 or 4 objectives or statements. You are then asked to rank them from the one that is most like you and the one that is least like you. For example, you might receive the 3 following objectives: friendly, careful, responsible, and challenge. The challenge of this type of question is that sometimes all objectives are equally desirable for the job you're applying for. So they're like waste of time type test questions. Some of these things, you'll spend anywhere from maybe 20 minutes to a half hour, 45 minutes to an hour plus on some of these just total personality tests, which just become, just annoying as fuck. Because this is usually after you've completed the application process. You filled all that stuff out, and you think you're done. You think you're in the home stretch, and then it's like, oh cool, submit. You submit your application, you upload your resume, and then boom, they hit you with a stupid freaking test. And sometimes you do have, if it's probably for a more skilled job, you might have the more aptitude tests, might involve, mathematics or whatever, something that involves, let's say, the science of what you're doing, if it is, something that requires an education. Requires an education. A lot of the places I'm applying for don't require an education, even though I do have a degree, but it's a useless one, apparently. That broadcast communications degree in a year of journalism school does not get you very much, apparently, in this world, as I've learned, much to my own peril. But, there's covert style personality test questions, which most personality test questions are not straightforward. This means that reading the question does not always help you identify what they measure. This is done on purpose to increase their accuracy. However, in some cases, the fact that personality test questions are not straightforward has led to the misunderstanding of them and consequently to an undesirable personality profile. Therefore, it is very important to prepare yourself for the personality test. They're going to be able to somehow determine whether you're an asshole or not by answering 50 to 80 to 100 plus questions, and some of the questions and some of the scenarios that you have to respond to that they put up are going to somehow determine whether you have antisocial personality disorder or you're someone who's reliable and sociable and someone you want to work around. It's fucking stupid. It really is. And I've taken so many of them. I mean, this past, last week I had a couple jobs I applied for, and they weren't jobs you needed to go to college for. They're jobs a lot of younger people younger than me, of course, quite a bit, a little bit, well, not that much younger, but younger, people who are 30, maybe 20 to 30 might usually apply for, like sales type jobs, selling cell phones, work for companies that sell cell phone, or if you're, going to work for a some manufacturing company of some kind, they still do want to assess your personality for the most part, because they're going to train you when you get there, because it's not like a college job, it's not, you're not a lawyer, you just didn't, get out of law school and everything, and so it's not like that. It's not like you're an engineer, it's not like you're a doctor, it's not like you're a nurse, it's not like you're a plumber, it's not like you're someone who has a very specific skill or science that you've already proven that you are knowledgeable of, because you've graduated and you've gotten past all of the things you need to do to get to the point where you're going to get a job in that field. So you've sort of proven that that end of it. When you're a young person getting out of school, in your 20s or whatever, I mean, med school of course takes a lot longer. That's different. But if you're just a regular Joe Schmo, maybe you went to school for something it isn't, so you went to school for philosophy, or you didn't go to college at all and maybe you got a GED or whatever, you're just trying to make a buck somehow out there. And so you have to work for a corporation, and these corporations of course have management consulting firms that come up with this stupid shit. And you were stuck there. It didn't used to be like that, because years ago, in the mid-90s, when I first got out of high school and then I graduated from college, I didn't have to take these fucking tests. You would fill out a job application, they would interview you, boom, boom. It was that was the order of things. I was used to that. And since the advent of the internet, it's a lot easier to just, you apply online now all the time. So that's why all these stupid tests are out there now, because these management consultants have convinced these companies that they're going to save money and they won't have as much turnover if they determine whether these employees are fit to work there using these dumb fucking tests. And I've taken these tests. I've taken psychology tests when I was growing up, when I was in therapy, and and that was before they used they took the same template from those psych tests. The strongly disagree to strongly agree to a particular situation, that type of thing. Isn't that annoying? And it's strongly agree. And strongly disagree, and then they have all the things, sort of agree, and kind of don't agree, and there's all these things in the middle, and it drives you up the fucking wall. It's insane. It's fucking insane. They need to put an end to this shit. It's making getting a job more difficult. It's making getting your foot in the door more difficult. It makes your job application, typically, especially if it's online, just go into a black fucking hole, and you barely get any feedback. And if you do get a phone call, it's a phone call to tell you, hey, are you interested in an interview? Okay, we'll call you. Someone else is going to call you about the interview. I even got that shit late last year, because it's January, so it was late last year in December. It was fucking insane. But that's all I'm saying is bonding tests, these personality fucking tests, pre-employment testing, it needs to go. It's bullshit.